Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we answer the questions you didn't even realize you had. Today's question comes from one of our awesome viewers, Calum1122. Thanks for the suggestion. Calum, you asked, when were emojis created? And why are we all obsessed with them? Ah, emojis. The little digital hieroglyphics we use to express everything from happiness to heartbreak to complete and utter confusion. Some of us are still figuring out how to use them properly, while others have mastered the fine art of texting entire conversations without a single word. But where did emojis come from? Did ancient civilizations use tiny smiley faces in their stone tablets? Spoiler. No, but that would have been hilarious. Let's dive into the surprisingly fascinating history of emojis and how these tiny symbols took over the way we communicate, right here on Explaining Everything. The 90s. A time when we had dial-up internet, Tamagotchis, and absolutely zero emojis. Back in those days, people had to get creative to express emotions through text. Enter emoticons, those weird keyboard mashups like smiley face and sad face. They were meant to represent faces. They worked, but let's be honest, they looked like they were made by someone who had just sneezed on their keyboard. Emoticons go way back. The first recorded instance of one was in 1982, when a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, Scott Fahlman, suggested using smiley face and sad face to distinguish jokes from serious statements in online discussions. That's right, before emojis, people were already struggling to understand sarcasm on the internet. But while emoticons were a good start, they had limitations. Not everyone interpreted them the same way, and they just didn't have the same pizzazz as actual pictures. The world needed something better. The year is 1999. The world is preparing for Y2K panic. Britney Spears is ruling the charts, and in Japan, a man named Shigetaka Kurita is about to change digital communication forever. Kurita was working for NTT Docomo, a Japanese telecom company, and he was given the task of designing simple pictograms for a new mobile internet service. His solution? A set of 176 tiny pixelated symbols that could be used to add emotion and context to messages. This was the birth of the emoji, a word that comes from the Japanese e, or picture, and moji, or character. So, no, it has nothing to do with emotions, even though that's what they mostly express. These early emojis were extremely basic. Think a simple sun, a heart, and a smiley face. But they were revolutionary. Suddenly, people could add more personality to their texts without having to type out an entire paragraph explaining how they felt. For a while, emojis remained a Japan-only thing, like high-tech vending machines and anime that never got English dubs. But in the early 2000s, Apple and Google realized their potential. In 2010, the Unicode Consortium, the organization that standardizes text characters across different systems, officially recognized emojis. This meant they could now be used worldwide on all kinds of devices. And then came Apple's iOS update in 2011, which included an emoji keyboard. That was the moment everything changed. Suddenly, emojis weren't just a fun addition to messages, they were the message. Instead of saying, "I'm happy," people just sent smiley face emoji. Instead of explaining they were craving pizza, they just sent pizza emoji. By 2015, Oxford dictionaries even declared the face with tears of joy emoji as the word of the year. That's right, a tiny yellow face laughing so hard it cries was officially more relevant than any other word in the English language. Once emojis caught on, they exploded. Companies started designing their versions. Social media embraced them, and new emojis were added every year. We went from a few simple smiley faces to over 3,600 emojis, and counting. Do you want a mermaid? You got it. A T-Rex? Absolutely. A suspicious-looking shrimp? No idea why you need it, but here you go. Of course, this has led to some truly weird emojis. There's a rock, a hole, and even a melting face, because apparently that's something we needed. Some emojis get added due to high demand, while others, we have no idea how they cut. So, where do we go from here? Will emojis keep evolving? Will we eventually replace words entirely? Are we doomed to communicate only in tiny, colorful symbols like some futuristic cavemen? Well, emoji development is still going strong. Every year, new ones are proposed and added, and as technology advances, we might even get animated emojis, custom emojis, or holographic floating emojis, which, let's be honest, would be amazing. But one thing is clear, emojis aren't going anywhere. They've become an essential part of modern communication, helping us express emotions faster, funnier, and sometimes way too dramatically. So, what have we learned today? Emojis started in Japan in 1999, thanks to Shigetaka Kurita. They went global in the 2010s, thanks to Apple, Google, and Unicode. Some emojis make perfect sense, while others are just weird. And no matter how advanced our communication gets, we'll probably still be arguing over whether the praying hands emoji means thank you or high five. And let's be honest, emojis have become the universal language of the internet. Forget grammar, punctuation, or even spelling. It's like modern-day hieroglyphics, except instead of telling stories of ancient pharaohs, we're expressing how much we love tacos. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.